We made it to another final table, this time a 750 bounty builder on Party Poker. Very small field. I don't remember how many players there were. This tournament took place a couple of weeks ago. The end of September. Wait, nope, not at the end of September. We're coming up to the end of September. It was at the end of August the tournament took place. There we go. We got Al Bandy starting things off, Enzo Will, Poker Rays, the Dukester, OJ, myself with 50 blinds, Acelli, Lulu Big Head, and Neo Cra. This should be a fun one, as on Party Poker, the fields are super small, the prize pools are small, but the fields are soft as all hell. So it's like, why wouldn't you take your shot, look to scoop about 40 some bucks or some so for taking down the tournament, plus all the bounties on top of it. Super easy. You just gotta hope you run good and, give it a shot. Anyways, Al Bandy's gonna take a shot on the 8-7-5 flop. Lulu Big Head's gonna come along to the turn, 8 on the turn, 8 of diamonds. No flush draw out there, the rainbow's been complete. So we got about 40 bucks for first place. The other prizes just don't matter. It's all about collecting bounties as we're here on the final table. And then you look to take down the tournament, so you can scoop your own bounty, the one that's on your head. That's pretty much the game plan. Lulu gonna lead on out, very interesting. About half pot, ace on the river. So we don't have too many reads on the players on the final table, so it's just gonna be a matter of trying to play the best cards we can play. 9-6 would have flopped a frickin' straight. Obviously, we're not going to play the bullshit holdings. Lulu's all in here. They go for the slight overbet. Al Bandy will fold and Lulu takes a big pot. We got a king and a jack. We're 50 blinds deep. We're going to see what happens. We got a playable holding. But the action before us will dictate how we go about things. Enzo Will in the tank. Like, if Poker Rays jams, I think I fold. If the Dukester opens... feels very weird. Feel like a fold comes in. If OJ opens, we could always go for a 3-bet or fold. Looks like we're going to land on the fold option here. I don't think we want to play call, although to be fair, we could look to take this post flop as we don't expect too many 3-bets to come in from these weaker opponents on the final table here. And if they do come in, then they're going to have a strong holding. But I didn't want to find myself in a spot such as this one with the Queen Jack 6 flop. Although we could have the best hand. Like, how many bets do we want to call? We don't want to bet ourselves, but we don't want to have we don't want to go 4 ways. Do we just come along? Hopefully everybody checks it around. Ace on the turn. Hopefully a 10 on the river. Hopefully a jack on the river. Like, we could hope for all this shit. We get a deuce on the river. We shouldn't expect that we can just come along with a call. No 3-bet comes in. We get to the river for free. A small bet from Al Bandy, who's got a pair of aces. OJ with a better pair of aces takes the pot. So had we 3-bet pre-flop, I think we're going to get our 3-bet through. And you know what? Now that we see this sort of holdings shown up, ace 9 from OJ, offsuit. We've seen Lulu take a big stab on... What was it, an 8-7-5 flop? Or when ace 7-5 was the flop, 8 on the turn, Lulu took a big stab. Went for the overbet all in on the turn, or on the river. Holy fuck, sentences just got really difficult right there. Anyways, we're going to move along swiftly. But I'm still wondering about the King Jack. I think a 3-bet, had it come on in, would have got through. And going forward, hopefully we find a spot like that, where we can look to put some pressure on OJ. Poker Rays gets a walk. That's good news for them. The short stack. We got a 7-6 suited. I don't think we're going to play it. Under the gun +1. How many players do we got on the table here? 9? Holy shit, so we're 9-handed. Under the gun +1. 7-6 suited. We'll just hit the muck. Lulu Big Head. We'll go for the open. Where are they playing from? Looks like the low jack. If I'm doing the... Yep. Enzo Will from the button will 3-bet and take the pot down. King 10 off under the gun. Another playable holding, but under the gun, 9-handed. I think we're just gonna let this one go. That could be an open. I don't think so though. It could be. I think king 10 off is just a little bit too weak. King jack off could be an open. Be a little bit more likely to happen. Although king jack could also maybe just be a muck. I don't think so. King queen is certainly a play. King jack is very questionable. King 10 hits the muck. It's the way I see it. Acelli is going to go for the open under the gun +1. The Dukester in the small blind is thinking things through off the 20 big blind stack. They'll let it go. I guess it's 19.2 blinds, so whatever. 20 big blinds, you know what I mean. Acelli is going to bet 2 blinds on the Jack 7-3 flop. OJ will come along. We see a 5 of clubs on the turn, so we still got the flush draw. 6-4 makes a straight. Plenty of other straight draws out there. Acelli goes for the big bet, 60% pot, and OJ will quickly fold. Dippity-doo, 9-5 suited in the big blind. We could always defend if there's an open. If there's a raise and a 3-bet, easy fold. We'll never 3-bet this hand. It just got some playability. We're suited, and we got a little bit of connectivity. We can still make a straight with this holding. It's obviously not the most appealing hand, but we got 1 blind committed. If we have to call 1 more, we're happily going to go to the flop. If poker raise jams, we have an easy fold. Same for the Dukester, but I don't think they'll jam off the 19 big blind stack. Poker raise very well could jam. 13 blinds, we'll see what they do. Just folds to OJ. So now the question is, what size do we call here? He goes 3.5x. I was going to say 3 blinds or less. I'm going to call. 9-5 suited sees the big ass raise from OJ. So we got like 35 blinds, 3.5x OJ's sizing. He goes for the big ass sizing and he's going to get me to fold 9-5 suited, a very playable holding. So that's something to note going forward. OJ uses a big ass sizing preflop, 3.5x from the small blind. We'll see if that situation comes up again. OJ gets a raise on. Oh, no, he doesn't. Acelli will call the big blind. King 7-3 flop goes check, bet. I don't even know what Acelli has. He's going to come along to the 2 on the turn. Do-ba-dee-do-do-do-do-do. OJ bets big. Looks like they're going to be putting a lot of pressure on their opponents. Seems like a very reasonable spot for OJ to have both plenty of value hands and plenty of bluff hands. Do-ba-dee-do-do-do-do-do. Ace-4 offsuit, interesting holding on the button. If it folds to us, we can go for the open. Al-Bandy goes for the open from early position, so we're ready to fold. Enzo will play call 1 seat to their left. Or right, I guess it depends on which way you want to look at it. But surely it's their left. It's Al-Bandy's left, but it's our right. So it depends which way you want to look at it. Anyways, 8-7-5 flop goes check. Lulu, big head, thinking things over. They're going to check it on over to Al-Bandy, the pre-flop aggressor, who checks it on over to Enzo Will. Not necessarily the best flop for the pre-flop aggressor. Enzo Will goes for the big bet here. 2/3 pot size. Lulu thinking things through. Lulu really thinking things through here. Got a flush draw out there. Lulu will find the call. Al-Bandy, doopity-doo, doopity-doo-doo-doo. Jam. Do it, Al-Bandy. Now they do play call though. Deuce of spades on the turn, so the flush completes. Enzo Will rips it all in for a slight overbet. Lulu quickly folds. And Albandi will let this go. This go, whatever this was. Albandi comes back in with another raise. Looks like they're getting after it. I think this is their third or fourth open. They don't care from which position they're in. 10-5 for us. We'll happily hit the muck. Acelli will rip in the 42 big blind stack, and that's a big raise. Lulu covers them. So it's 442 big blinds effective. And Acelli's jam will get through. They certainly should have found a smaller sizing. We can pick that green label and slap it right on Acelli. Doobity-doo. Enzo will go for the 2.5x raise. Albandi will fold the big. Boppity-boo. This is so boring when you don't get to see their cards, you know? We get a deuce and a 7. Like, how boring is this? Easy fold. We're moving along. Hopefully poker raise jams. Hopefully the Dukester goes bounty hunting. Maybe OJ calls. Albandi gets in there as well. And OJ scoops 3 bounties and we get a bunch of ladders. You know, I don't even want that. What I truly want is to pick up the old pocket rockets. We go for the raise. Neo Kara jams. Albandi gets it in there too. I don't care what cards they have. We get 2 bounties. We get a big stack. And then we just go from there. And we try to put our foot on the gas. Try to steal the W. Anyways, we're going 4 ways to the king 3-3 flop. King on the turn. How boring is this? I bet this one checks through. I could be wrong. Got a flush draw out there. I'm just wrong. I should totally wait to see what the action's going to be, considering I can't even see what they have. But I'm just thinking, what even wants to bet on the turn? Your flush draw doesn't want to bet. A king could bet to build a pot against a 3, of course. As OJ picks the big ass sizing on the river. A king for Lulu will just call. Makes no sense. OJ makes the flush on the river. Or not the flush. What the fuck am I talking about? Makes a worse full house with the queen. So Acelli is going to go for the open. I'm just thinking about OJ's bet on the turn there with the queens. What are we even trying to accomplish? We're trying to get called by worse pocket pairs. It's very interesting. Any king or 3 beats us. Maybe an ace high will call. We get a queen on the river. And yeah, Lulu puts out the thinking thing. It's because I'm really thinking about the queens betting on the turn as... Ooh, here we go. King Jack versus 8-8. King or a Jack. King on the turn, that will do. But Albandi has outs. Looking for an 8 or a 6. They don't find it. Acelli gets the knockout. So OJ's bet on the turn, I suppose, makes a little bit of sense. We're trying to get called by worse pocket pairs. The big ass bet on the river certainly makes no sense. Because if we're trying to get called by worse pocket pairs and ace X, if that's what we're hoping our opponents show up with on the river, and maybe some missed flush draws. Yeah, it's like Lulu's throwing out the kiss. It's because OJ just punted off 20 big blinds. And then another thing is, I don't understand why Lulu didn't raise on the river. The thing is, they lose the king-queen, which is really unfortunate. But they chop with all of their king-x. And on top of that, there's still 3x that will call you. And potentially queen-queen. I don't know if the 3x actually calls you, but we see in this instance the queen-queen for OJ. Would queen-queen call you? Probably not. So maybe Lulu's right. Maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe Lulu's call on the river makes a lot of sense, as if they're only going to get called by king-queen. They should just look to call and chop up the pot, or to win and then lose the minimum against king-queen. So Lulu taught me something right there. Lulu should not get the green tag. They should get the blue tag. It's very cool. Anyways, Acelli, gonna go for the open. We have a 10 and a 3. We see a min raise from the Dukester. Something tells me Achilli's going to go bounty hunting, but OJ from the small blind is going to raise to 13 bigs. The Dukester's committed to the pot. Jack 9-5 flop. We got 40 bigs in the middle. OJ bets another 13 with the queen. Ace Jack needs some help here. Does not find it. OJ's queens hold up this time. That's a big pot going to OJ. They get the bounty, 40 blinds. Ooh, and we get an ace and a jack. Interesting stuff. So Lulu goes for the open. Poker raise with 5 blinds. All in. OJ plays call. Now this is an interesting ass spot off 25, 26 blinds. Let me know what you would do. Here's what I do. I go all in. I'm going for that bounty. I'm going for the chips. I see 15 blinds in the middle, and I think my ace jack is best. Poker raise may have the best hand here, but I would expect OJ or Lulu to come along. OJ shows the that they would raise their queen. So if they have a strong hand, they're not just going to call for the bounty. They're going to raise it on up, so I can exclude all of OJ's strongest hands. It's not like he's trapping. He's the type to raise it on up pre-flop. Lulu with the big stack could have just about any holdings. I'm not a huge fan of Achilli going all in. This is a little worrisome as they've got 26 blinds as well. But Lulu's going to go bounty hunting. I kind of hope OJ folds. They do. So we are ahead of ace 3 and ace or jack 8 quite fine. Queen 5 finds a pair of 5s on the flop. We don't smack our ace or jack. Lulu makes a straight. Poker raise makes a straight. So we don't even get the ladders or any of the pots. We're out of the tournament. Boppity boo. So yeah, like with that being said, let's go look back at the call or the get it on in pre-flop. Let's do some maths and whatnot. 26 blinds. So here's the spot. We got 15 in the middle. Are raised to 26. It really sucks that Achilli comes along, but they show up with queen 5. Poker raise with jack 8. So like once you know what they have pre-flop, doesn't ace jack just seem like a slam dunk get it in here? We are lucky to be dominating 2 of the players, if I'm being honest with you. But I wouldn't be surprised if Poker Raise has ace 5 suited. So if he's... And what about ace 2 suited? Lulu's going to be opening super wide with that big ass stack. OJ's going to be raising their strong hands. So we probably dominated OJ. OJ could have any old ace X. We just gotta hope Achilli folds in the big blind, but you see they came along with queen 5, whatever the fuck. Yeah, I think it was suited, but like still, they stuck in there 26 blinds. Ace jack just seems like a slam dunk. Just unfortunate our opponents make a straight. Dang, it would have been nice to win the big pot here. Would have been what, like 100 blinds almost? Let's see how many blinds end up being in there. And another thing is people have seen how I just fold throughout the whole final table. So you would expect Lulu to fold their ace 3. If we're being honest with you. And Achilli as well. You would kind of expect him to fold the queen 5. So what should have happened, I think, is Achilli folds, Lulu folds, Poker Raise makes a straight on the river. And now we just lose a big pot. If we were playing against reasonable opponents. But we're just not. We're playing against some big fishes. So Lulu goes all in. Obviously, we don't. So 900k in the middle. If we win the hand, 900k. I'm never folding ace jack here. At least against these opponents. Whew. So very interesting final table. Sucks that we didn't get the job done here. Anyways, if you made it all the way through this show, thanks for checking this bullshit out. Hopefully we'll see you in another video. Until then, adios amigos.